Hello, John. I am going to make you a video to get you started on lap steel. Now, I already pointed you to Lessons with Troy. If you Google that on or search on YouTube for Lessons with Troy and OpenD, you'll get way better stuff than this. But this I'm going to keep it very simple and hopefully give you something to get started with. So I've got this one here. I've got it tuned to Open D, and I'll show you what that is. Now, yours probably was, it does matter on the string gauge, but for most of those old Supros, I think they were tuned to Open D, so you should be good. So what I've got my Snark up here, tuner. And I recommend that you actually keep that on and play with it on, so you can as you're sliding up to the notes, you can see if you're hitting them. Like if I slide up like that, I can see on the Snark there that I did hit, right on the note. So a couple of really basic things. So first of all, you're playing with a slide. Hopefully you've got this style here. Now I also have a regular bullet nose, but this style lets you put a finger in the slot there in the little groove, one finger on the side and your thumb on one side, and you've got a lot of control on it. The regular just round ones, bullet nose, are much harder to control. You want to have these fingers free, because these fingers, your pinky and ring finger, need to trail behind to keep the strings behind muted. That keeps it from getting really noisy. So that's important, that these fingers are on the strings trailing behind. Doesn't have to be super far behind. This works most of the time. I generally see the slide players with them trailing back like that, but this works. Then the other most important thing to understand is that when you're playing guitar, you push down, behind the fret that you're trying to play. But on a slide, there are no frets. You need to hover exactly over the fret marker to get the right the right intonation, to get the right chord or note. So once you know that, then you're good to go. Then you can just practice just sliding up to something, make a nice little sound. Now I am wearing the style finger picks that the bluegrass dobro players wear. You don't have to. A lot of lap steel players just use their bare fingers, because it is, if you want to make it louder, you just turn up the amp, right? So it's not like with the acoustic instrument, the dobro, where you need to have these metal finger picks to get the right sound. You don't necessarily on a lap steel. I've been practicing with them because I do play, I've got a dobro here too that I like to play with, so it's good to keep it in. So another word about tuning, like this, the dobro tuning is much higher, and you'll probably break all your strings if you try and do that. That's GBD, GBD is what those things are tuned to. You don't want to do that, and you never want to do that on your regular acoustic. Your regular acoustic, you can tune to the open D, because it's basically you take your E string and you go down a step to the D. You take your A string, stays where it is, the D string stays where it is, the G goes down a half step to a F sharp, and the B goes down a full step to an A, and the E goes down a full step to a D. So to get into the D tuning on a regular guitar is easy. and it's okay because you're slacking the strings, you're not tightening them. Um, I hope I'm recording because let me make sure here. Yeah, it says I'm recording. All right, but it started to dim my screen. All right, so once you got that, you can hold your slide. You can slide up to a fret, make a nice sound. Then all you have to understand is when you're playing a song, a 3-chord song, like most of the ones that I play, you're you're playing what's called the root note, the 4th, and the 5th, and that's the 3 chords that you'll normally play. So a song like you play, Angel from Montgomery, you're probably starting in a G chord, and then you got a C chord in there, and that does that a couple of times, and eventually it goes up to the D, and then in the chorus it has an F, but we won't worry about that right now. So all you need to know is, and if you play bar chords on a guitar, you already know this, that like when you start with the E and you bar it up at the 5th fret, you got the A, which is the 4th, and you bar it up at the 7th fret, you've got the B, which is the 5th. So so that works for anything. So in your D tuning here, if I slide on up to the 5th fret, I've got a G chord. If I slide on up to the 7th fret, I've got an A chord. So you can play any song you know that's got 3 chords that way. Now, generally on a lap steel, you're not playing the open so much. You're going to start somewhere. Now, that's not true because if we play blues, we're going to start open. But we're not going to focus on that right now. Let's focus on the song you know, Angel from Montgomery, which is in, I believe you play it in the key of G. I do. Most people do. And so you need to find your G on here. Well, if it's an open D, that's a D chord. So all you got to do is count up. So D, and then 2 frets up is going to be A, B, C, D, E. And then if you know on your guitar, the F is only a half step up from the E. So I'm on my 3rd fret now over here, and I've got my F. And then another full step, 2 frets, to the G. So I've located my G. So then all I need to know from there is that the 2 chords I need are going to be starting from here 5 frets and 7 frets up. So just counting up here now. Let's get this where you can see it a little better. From the 5th fret, which is my G, I need to go to the C, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's at the 10th fret, which makes sense from the 5th fret to the 10th fret. So the 5 and 7 frets, which are the 4th and 5th relative chords. So you got to not get confused by that. When we say the 4th and 5th, those are full steps. They're not frets, right? So on a guitar, you got to keep that clear in your head. That what we want here is going to be the 5th and 7th fret above your root. So if I got a song that starts in G here, do 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 do, and then you can slide all the way, you could lift it up and do that, but I think it sounds good to slide. Now, this isn't the way that you end up playing, lap steel guitar, but it is it's a way to learn. I think it's a way to learn. So your song, starting in G here, right? It flies in the kitchen. I can hear 'em buzzing. I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. Now, once again, you're trying to get the bar directly over the fret marker, but it helps to look down at that snark or whatever kind of tuner you got there and say, okay, that is a G. I'm on the G there. And they'll see, how did I do there? Yeah, I did pretty good. So it ends up being how good your ear is, really, because you can't accurately see that you're, right over that fret marker. So yeah, I was flat there, and I tend to slide it up a little flat, and that's what helps me. By looking at that tuner, I can say, oh, I was a little flat there, because my hearing aids and everything, my pitch is not good. I can't hear good. So the other thing that I like to work in there is, if you're starting on the 5th fret, which is a G, which is perfect when you're playing on a D tuning, you got your G chord there, make that the root, and your C chord up at the 10th fret. You got your D chord up at the 12th or open. So sometimes I like to, just when I go to that D chord, I'll just hit the open one. So let's see what that would sound like. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. So with this song, I think it sounds better to slide on up, but a lot of stuff I do, I prefer to hear that that open one there for the D. So what else I got for you? Well, in the chorus of that song, it goes to F. So F's just one step down, 2 frets down from the G. So do 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 up to the C. Do, 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 do. So yeah, I'm shaking it here a little bit. Don't worry about that stuff. Advanced stuff. I am, a total novice at this. I've been trying to play it for 15 years or so, and before that, I used to try and play Bottleneck, and now obviously when eventually you want to be able to pick out the notes. Yeah, but that comes with time and practice. So yeah, I think that's what you need to get started. Is just practice just sliding from your root up 5 frets to your 4th, up 7 frets to your, and then you can put that anywhere if you want to play an F. So you just. Yeah, I think I missed it there. Let's see. That would be 2 down there. And you can do it open. On the 5th and 7th fret. But wherever you start, whatever your root chord is, you can just go up 5 frets, All right. I hope that helps get you started. Talk to you again soon.